So, a few weeks ago, I got involved in a debate with someone on Facebook on the topic of climate change. Their entire argument was basically that the climate of the Earth is changing. And I tried to point out that, of course, the climate of the world has always changed. That indeed, just 12,000 years ago, we were coming out of an ice age. That once upon a time, about 8,000 years ago, Egypt was once a lush green land, and obviously this meant that the climate of the planet had went through severe changes over the course of time. Having been presented with this obvious piece of logic, they decided to change tact and they said yes, but the difference this time is that the Earth's climate is rising faster since records began. Now, initially, when I heard this, I'm picturing records dating back over thousands of years because I'm well aware that we have teams of scientists in the Arctic ice cap drilling down, revealing the records of the Earth's climate history dating back tens of thousands of years. So, after this debate, off I wandered to find this chart, and it wasn't difficult to actually find. And the first thing I noticed was that records only began in 1860, which I thought was quite interesting. But to be fair, the chart did actually seem to insinuate that since the Industrial Revolution to the present period, the temperature of the world has been rising. Though this is an argument they put forward that since that time period, the world has been gradually rising in temperature, and this is for them conclusive proof that the temperature is man-made. Now, over the years, I've learned to be very cautious when dealing with the left. They seem to be highly motivated in manipulating you around to their opinion. Now, on the surface, I thought this was a decent bit of evidence, but I did wonder why they only referred to this chart, given that we have records going back thousands of years. So I decided to find other graphs that were more detailed and for a longer time period. And of course, that was highly revealing. So if we find a chart that documents a longer time period, like this one goes over a 2,000 year period, we instantly see why they only refer to the chart dating from 1860. It's because if you go further back in time, it completely destroys their narrative. You can see here in 850, which was during the Dark Ages, so very little industrial activity was taking place, the global mean temperature was actually close to where we are now. Now, you would have to ask the question, how did it become so warm if the temperature of the world is tied into the release of greenhouse gases? Because clearly we couldn't have been releasing greenhouse gases because there was very little industrial activity during this time period. So if we put these charts side by side, you can see how they paint completely different pictures. The first one is the chart they often refer to, and it shows a gradual increase in temperature from the industrial era into the modern age. The one on the bottom, however, shows the temperature over the last 2,000 years. And you can see clearly there that it's changed vastly in them 2,000 years. And indeed, it's changed vastly even during a time when there was very little industrial output, which shows clearly then, I think, that, it's not man-made. If it's man-made, you would have to explain why it rose so sharply in 850, which is obviously something they don't want to do because they can't do it. So they'll never show that graph. Well then, where does that leave us then? What's actually causing the changes in temperature? Well, you might be surprised to find out that NASA, an organization that receives $20 billion per year to investigate just these kind of issues, have known for over 60 years that it's the Earth's solar orbit that causes changes in temperature, not greenhouse gases. And only recently, August 2019, they released a statement actually clarifying this, which has done absolutely nothing to appease anyone on the left. They're still pushing this climate change hoax. So then the obvious question is, why are they doing this? Well, as many people have highlighted, there's a lot of money to be made out of this hoax, but more importantly, it's about misinformation. It's about disorientating people so they don't know what's really going on. It's about distracting them from talking about the pressing issues that need to be addressed in Western European societies. And if you really want to know what's going on, watch my video on the Frankfurt School. It'll explain everything in detail. For now, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. It really helps the channel out. Thank you.
Maybe